Good morning and Jai Hind, dear students. Welcome back to chemistry class. Children, in the previous class, that is yesterday, we were talking about the causes of air pollution, right? So we have talked about different types of air pollution and what are the different causes of air pollution. In that, we have seen suspended particulate matters. We have also talked about carbon monoxide, and we have just started the discussion of greenhouse effect and global warming. Okay, so today we are again continuing with this topic, that is we'll talk about what is greenhouse effect and what are global warming, and we'll also see what are the different what are the more causes of air pollution, and we'll also go through the conservation of air pollution. Okay, so listen to it very carefully, children. This topic is very important, that is greenhouse effect and global warming. So we are going to discuss that. So, children, many of you have asked me the question in the group that, ma'am, is carbon dioxide a pollutant? Children, carbon dioxide is not a pollutant if it is in limited amount. But if carbon dioxide is in excess amount, मतलब इतना ज़्यादा हो जाए कि it traps a lot of amount of sunlight and it increases the temperature of the earth, then it is harmful. Okay, then it acts as a pollutant. Getting it? So carbon dioxide in its minimal amount is not a pollutant, but yes, definitely if it is in very excess amount, then it is a pollutant. Okay, so in the previous class, that is yesterday, we have discussed about what is air pollution. We have also seen what are air pollutants, and we also know that there are two different ways of air pollutant, that is natural source and it is due to human made activities. All right, so this all thing we have discussed, and these air pollutants are so harmful that it blocks the respiratory tract and may cause even death. Okay, and we'll continue with this topic, that is causes of air pollution. So children, in causes of air pollution, yesterday we have talked about suspended particulate matters. So suspended particulate matters are those fine particles which cannot be like we which this the nostrils of hair, the hair nostrils and mucus, which they cannot stop. All right, so we can inhale it, we inhale it and it gets blocked in the respiratory tract, in the lungs, and causes several respiratory diseases. Then we have talked about carbon monoxide, which is again very dangerous, and it is released from various automobiles and due to incomplete combustion. Okay, now this carbon monoxide, why it is so dangerous? Because it is odorless and it is tasteless and it is colorless. Okay, so nobody can detect whether it is a carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide. We cannot detect it. Okay, and when we accidentally inhale this carbon monoxide, it has a capacity to bind with the blood. All right, so it enters the blood of the human and stops the flow of oxygen. And if it stops the flow of oxygen, there will be a lot of problem in breathing and it may even cause death. Getting it? That is why carbon monoxide is very dangerous. Let's talk about, so we are left with the rest of the causes of greenhouse effect. So one by one, we'll again discuss the excess carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, chlorofluorocarbons, and lead. Okay, so let's come to the point again. So children, I'll first explain you what is greenhouse effect and why we are talking about greenhouse effect and carbon dioxide here is. See, there are several planets, right? But only planet Earth till now that we know is there is only planet Earth which has a favorable condition or a favorable atmosphere for the living being to survive. All right, so it is only this planet Earth, our planet Earth, which has a favorable atmosphere for the survival, right? So what is it which is making the earth survivable? It is the blanket that is surrounding the earth. So consider this is the earth, and we know that there is a blanket around this earth which is called atmosphere, right? Now this atmosphere is nothing but a combination of a composition of several gases like nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and other gases like water vapor and everything. All right, so it is a blanket, so it is a protective layer around the earth. Getting it? Now from which it, like किस चीज से ये हमें protect कर रहा है? It is protecting us from the harmful sun radiations. Children, see, this is sun. Sun emits various frequencies, various intensities of light. Sun can emit certain visible rays, which is good. Sun can emit infrared. Sun can emit ultraviolet rays. All right, and other frequencies, waves also it can emit. तो जितने भी ये रेज एमिट कर रहा है, ये सारे रेज इज नॉट गुड फॉर द mankind which is surviving on the earth. Okay, visible ray is good, infrared we can also bear it, but ultraviolet rays and higher wavelength rate we cannot bear it. So this atmosphere protects our earth from these harmful rays. All right, so before coming to the surface of earth, these light has to pass through the atmosphere. All right, so few of the lights are trapped by this atmosphere and then reaches the surface. Getting it? Now there are certain, like we also have another protective layer here, that is called ozone layer. All right, we also have another protective layer here called ozone layer. Now this ozone layer protects the earth from UV light, that is ultraviolet light. Okay, so when ultraviolet light reaches this ozone layer, it reflects back. Getting it? It is getting reflected, and also few lights are also getting affected, like reflected all the time. Children, अगर ultraviolet rays earth पे आ गई, so it is so dangerous and so harmful that it may even cause cancer, skin cancer. It may cause harm to the eyes, okay, which can cause cataract or some other diseases. Okay, so this ultraviolet rays is definitely very dangerous, and ozone layer protects the earth from this ultraviolet rays. And also this sun rays are also getting reflected by the atmosphere. Getting it? Now there are certain gases like carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, chlorofluorocarbon. So these are the gases which has a capacity to absorb these sunlight. ठीक है, इन सनलाइट को एब्जॉर्ब करने की इनके पास कैपेसिटी होती है, तो ये सनलाइट को एब्जॉर्ब कर लेते हैं और अर्थ के सरफेस पे आने देते हैं. ठीक, now this process of absorbing the light and reflecting back the light is called greenhouse effect. All right, it is called greenhouse effect. Alright. Now the question is why it is called greenhouse. Children, greenhouse क्या होता है? Greenhouse एक ऐसा एरिया होता है which is made up of a glass. ठीक है, ग्लास का एक हट होता है. Alright, it is a type of a hut जिसमें कि we give a very favorable temperature for the growth of plants. Okay, plants की growth के लिए we give a favorable temperature. तो जो sun rays होती हैं, it like during the cold, अगर बहुत ठंड का मौसम भी है, then also the sun rays are getting trapped and it gives a favorable environment or a warm up environment inside this greenhouse to protect the plant or for the growth of plant. Getting it? ग्रीन हाउस क्या होता है? ग्रीन हाउस एक ग्लास का बना हुआ हट होता है. हट हो सकता है या डोम शेप हो सकता है जिसके अंदर प्लांट्स ग्रो किए जाते हैं. ठीक है, इन प्लांट्स को ये ग्रीन हाउस फेवरेबल कंडीशन देता है. जैसे इवन द टेम्परेचर इज कोल्ड आउटसाइड, तब भी अंदर क्या होगा? गर्म होगा. ओके, बिकॉज इट कैन ट्रैप द सनलाइट. सो दिस इज कॉल्ड ग्रीन हाउस. Okay, it is generally made in the places where there is very cold temperature. Okay, so greenhouse is the such type of structure. Why this effect is called a greenhouse effect? Because the same process is going on here. This atmosphere is acting as a glass and it is trapping the light and also reflecting back the harmful radiations. Okay, so it is also protecting the earth. Like this greenhouse is protecting the plant, so this atmosphere is also protecting the earth. Okay, that is why it is called greenhouse effect. Getting it? अब ये सारे जो gases हैं, that is carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, CFC, ये क्या करते हैं? इस sunlight को trap करते हैं और surface पे लाते हैं, right? Which is good. Because of this greenhouse effect, the temperature of the earth is maintained. Okay, because of this greenhouse effect, the temperature of the earth is maintained, and these gases are called greenhouse gases. All right, which gases are known as greenhouse gases? Carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and CFCs. They are called greenhouse gases. Okay, which traps the sunlight and maintain the temperature of the earth. But children, we know that excess of anything is very bad, right? Excess of these gases are very bad. And nowadays, we like because of the human activity, the amount of these gases are increasing very drastically. Carbon dioxide is increasing because of burning of the fuel and increase in the population and deforestation. The amount of carbon dioxide has increased drastically. Methane is increased because of the burning of cow dung and gobar gas and all these things like biogas. Also, it releases a lot of methane gas. Then nitrous oxide is released from the vehicles and automobiles. So, and CFCs, definitely it is the main product of refrigerator and AC. So a lot amount of these gases is increased in the atmosphere, जिसकी वजह से क्या होगा? जितनी लाइट इन लोग को सन की ट्रैप करनी थी उससे कई ज्यादा अमाउंट में दे आर ट्रैपिंग द लाइट ऑफ सन. नाउ व्हेन दे विल ट्रैप a lot amount of sunlight, so definitely the earth surface will become more hot, the temperature will also increase. Getting it? So this is called global warming. Getting it? Because of these gases, see, because of these gases, जिस लाइट को यहाँ से रिफ्लेक्ट बैक हो जाना चाहिए था, ये गैसेस क्या कर रही हैं? दिस CO2, दिस CFCs, दिस मीथेन, व्हाट दे आर डूइंग? They are trapping more and more light, so light is not able to reflect back, which is increasing the temperature of earth, which is making the earth hot. So this area become very hot and all the earth's surface become very hot, which rises the temperature. Overall average temperature of the earth increases, and this is called global warming. What is this called? This is called global warming. ग्रीन हाउस इफेक्ट अच्छा है. ग्रीन हाउस इफेक्ट में क्या होता है? अगेन एक्सप्लेन इट टू यू. ये अर्थ का सरफेस है. ऑलराइट, देयर इज एटमॉस्फेरिक लेयर. दिस इज एटमॉस्फेयर. ओके, एंड दिस इज अर्थ. नाउ दिस इज सनलाइट. Sunlight comes, and these gases, which are called greenhouse gases, traps the sunlight, a few amount of it, and few amount of it is reflected back. So अगर ऐसा हो रहा है तो ये अर्थ का टेम्परेचर मेंटेन रहेगा. But what if these greenhouse gases is increased? So instead of reflecting back, they are again getting trapped, and less amount of light is getting reflected back. So hence what is happening? The temperature of earth is getting increased. Average temperature of the earth is getting increased. So this is called global warming. Okay, global is derived from the term called globe, and warming is garam karna, right? So heating up the globe, increasing the temperature of the globe, is called global warming. Getting it? So this is greenhouse effect and global warming and greenhouse gases we have talked about. Okay, so children, it is not only the matter of one country. Getting it? It is not only the matter of India or China or where the population is increasing. So it is not the matter of only one country. This matter is a global matter. All right, it is spread worldwide. So keeping this in mind, the communities of several countries have come together to sign a treaty, or we can say an agreement, to reduce this global warming. Why? To reduce global warming. Getting it? And this agreement and treaty is called Kyoto Protocol. This, children, is very, very, very important. It is called Kyoto Protocol. All right. So this Kyoto Protocol was signed in order to reduce the global warming and climate change. Okay. So this Kyoto Protocol was signed like when so many countries came together, they decided to just sign a treaty and reduce this global warming. So this was signed, and also in 2016 recently a Paris Agreement was signed under definitely the guidance of um, our own Prime Minister, that is Narendra Modi. So he signed this Paris Agreement along with the Donald Trump and other Prime Ministers of the countries. So they, Prime Ministers and Presidents of the country, so they signed a Paris Agreement. According to this Paris Agreement, what they said that पहले हमने क्या decide किया था, on an average 2 degree Celsius temperature was getting raised. ठीक है? So they have decided कि 2 degree temperature को हम लोग reduce करेंगे and will come up to 1.5 degree temperature. All right. So let's reduce the temperature. Let's reduce the temperature by giving the time to time एक पैरामीटर. आप सब लोग सारी कंट्रीज अपना अपना एक पैरामीटर दें कि उनके यहाँ से कौन सी गैसेस कितनी ज्यादा एमिट हो रही हैं, क्यों एमिट हो रही हैं. सो कीप अ चेक ओवर ऑल दीज थिंग एंड let's control the global warming. So this was the Paris Agreement, which is also called Paris Accord. and a Kyoto Protocol was signed. This was signed in 1997 somewhere. Okay, so all these government measures took place in order to control the global warming. And yes, definitely we are working towards it. The country is working towards it. But it is not only the prime minister and presidents and the government party will is responsible for controlling the global warming and this climatic change, but we should take the initiative and control this. And children, you should first know what can be the effect of this global warming. This you should know, which is very important. So the effect of global warming. So first of all, children, because the temperature of earth is rising drastically because of the global warming, सबसे पहली चीज क्या हो रही है? These icebergs, glaciers, mountains, all right, these are getting melted. इनमें जो भी आइस है वो क्या हो रही है? धीरे धीरे मेल्ट होती जा रही है. और जब ये मेल्ट होंगी तो ये कहाँ जाएंगी? They will flow into river, sea, oceans, basically river. All right. अब जब ये मेल्ट होकर रिवर में जा रही हैं, उसके बाद क्या होगा? द लेवल ऑफ रिवर will rise definitely. So if the level of river will rise, it will cause flood, right? And this flood, or it may also call tsunami. Okay, so now this flood, this tsunami, and these natural calamities will destroy the habitat. Getting it? Hence may cause a lot of destruction. All right. Now this global warming may also cause a forest fire. It may also cause a volcanic eruption. Because of the increase in temperature, all these things can occur naturally. Getting it? So because of this global warming, there can be destruction all over the world. Okay, so this is a major concern. And why all these things are getting like why this global warming is occurring is just because of these greenhouse gases which is increasing drastically. और कहाँ कहाँ से रिलीज होते हैं? सबसे पहले ये समझिए. So first greenhouse gas is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide कहाँ से रिलीज होता है? First reason being the increase in population and deforestation. All right, population increase हो रही है, पेड़ का अमाउंट कम होता जा रहा है, then there is no one to take the carbon dioxide. ठीक है? So that is why the amount of carbon dioxide increases. Second, burning of excess amount of fuel. Burning of fuel, it also releases a lot of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So this is the main reason. And who is doing it, children? We are doing it, definitely. Now second, if we talk about, so next greenhouse gas is methane. Again, methane is released from various biogases, cow dung, all right, burning of fuel, it releases methane. Getting it? So again, it is a major cause of concern. Let's talk about, then we have CFC, that is chlorofluorocarbon. So refrigerator, AC, air condition. So these are the main source of CFC. And children, nowadays every house is having almost 2 to 3 ACs and refrigerators, because जितने कमरे हैं घर में उतने ज़्यादा AC चाहिए लोगों को, उतना ज़्यादा टेम्परेचर नहीं बढ़ना चाहिए and what not. So जितना ज़्यादा मॉडर्नाइजेशन बढ़ रहा है उतना ज़्यादा this our environment is getting polluted, and it is a seriously a very great cause of concern. Then let's talk about the oxides of nitrogen, that is nitrous oxide. So it is released from the vehicles and automobiles. So children, घर में जितने लोग होते हैं ना उतनी बाइक होती है या तो कार होगी. All right. So we don't think of the condition of environment, but definitely in order to satisfy our needs, we are just to fulfill our demand, just to fulfill our needs, we are polluting the environment. So, and again, we only complain that the environment is so polluted. We study about it, the environment is so polluted. So this is not at all good for the survival here. Okay, so this is greenhouse effect and global warming. This is about greenhouse effect, global warming, and these are greenhouse gases. So Kyoto Protocol you should remember and everything. Okay, so that was about the excess amount of carbon dioxide. Let's then talk about sulfur dioxide. So children, sulfur is basically released from the automobiles vehicles. It is released from the automobiles, on the back of the automobiles. So when sulfur is mixed with oxygen, it forms sulfur dioxide. Okay, which is again when inhaled is very harmful, and also it is harmful for plants. The major the major concern of the sulfur dioxide is not we can inhale it, but when the sulfur dioxide, अगर sulfur dioxide release हो रहा है इंडस्ट्री से या कहीं से भी, तो वो एटमॉस्फेयर में रहेगा. और जब रेन होगा, whenever it will rain, it will combine with water and will form an acid called sulfur dioxide or sulfuric acid. It will form a sulfuric acid. And children, you know that sulfuric acid is very dangerous. It may burn the skin, it may cause the burning sensation and everything. So this is called acid rain. And sulfur dioxide when mixed with water causes acid rain. Okay, which may definitely can cause destruction, can burn the plants, can burn the monuments, can destroy the monuments. So all these things can happen because of the acid rain. Let's talk about nitrogen dioxide. It is again released from the vehicles and automobiles. And again, when nitrogen dioxide mixed with water, it forms nitric acid, that is HNO3, which is again a major cause of acid rain. Okay, so this both sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide are the cause of acid rain. Okay, CFC I have talked about. CFC is released from refrigerators and ACs, and which affects the ozone layer. All right, what is ozone layer? Ozone layer is the layer in the atmosphere which protects us from the ultraviolet rays. So ये CFC क्या करता है? ये ओजोन लेयर को डिप्लीट करता है. ओजोन की जो लेयर है उसको धीमे धीमे patla kar deta hai by reacting it with it. So this you will study in the later classes in the detail, but I'll just explain it to you. If this is the earth and this is consider a ozone layer, ये हमारी ozone layer है. Ozone is basically nothing but O3. So this CFC, that is chlorofluorocarbon, what it does, it contains chlorine, it contains fluorine, it contains carbon. So this chlorine reacts with this oxygen, getting it, and ये जो लेयर बार बार बन रही है ओजोन की, इसको बनने से ये रोकता है. As a result of which the ozone layer become thinner. And if the ozone layer will become thinner, so this ultraviolet rays can easily penetrate this ozone layer and reach the earth. Getting it? So this CFC gas is doing such things. It is depleting or making this ozone layer thinner, which may cause the ultraviolet rays to reach the earth. And when this ultraviolet rays which reach the earth, it may cause cancer, certain eye diseases and whatnot. Okay, so this is the major cause of concern, though now the company is working over it, and now the refrigerators and this ACs are coming with less amount of CFCs, and CFC free refrigerator and AC are now in the market, so we should use that. Okay, so this is CFC. And then lead, children, lead is used in vehicles again for to avoid the knocking. Knocking क्या होता है कि अगर आप स्कूटी चला रहे हो या बाइक चला रहे हो तो वो बीच में रुके ना, वो कोई आवाज ना करे. So in order to avoid the sound, they add lead to the automobiles. Okay, which is again very dangerous and may be inhaled and can cause a respiratory diseases. Okay, so these are the causes of air pollution. Let's see what is written in the chapter. So children, you can also go through this chapter once again. You can also see what is written there. I'm not going into much detail. So just have a look at some important things, that sulfur is present in coal as an impurity. So when coal is burned in the homes, factories and power plants, sulfur dioxide is given off. Children, you can see here in the figure that trees are killed because of the acid rain. Okay, sulfur dioxide is poisonous. It affects our lungs. It combines with the oxygen in the air to form sulfur trioxide. When it reacts with water, it forms sulfuric acid, which is the acid rain. Now, this acid rain damages the building, corrodes the metal structure, reduces the fertility of the soil, and making the soil acidic. Acid rain also causes harm to the plant. Getting it? So, this is the acid rain because of the sulfur dioxide. Nitrogen dioxide is given off from the automobiles industries. It is also poisonous, irritates the eyes, affects the lungs, and reacts with water vapor present in the air, forming nitric acid, which also is causing the acid rain. Okay. Chlorofluorocarbons are the compound used in refrigerators, air conditions, and aerosols, which depletes or thinning the layer of ozone layer, causing ozone hole, which was seen in children over the Antarctica region, but now it is a bit healed up. तो थोड़ा heal हो गया है अब पहले से, but it was observed in the top of Antarctica region. Okay, so it may damage our eyes, skin, can cause skin cancer. Okay, but now it has been reduced. Okay, so lead. Lead is emitted from the exhaust of automobiles and are absorbed by our bodies. It may cause mental disorder and brain damage. Getting it? So this is important here, that this the acid rain was recently, the cause of acid rain was basically recently observed in the Taj Mahal. The marble of Taj Mahal was earlier of a pure white color, but now it has turned a bit pale in color because of the acid rain. और जो sulfur dioxide release हो रहा था, so it is said that it was released from the oil refineries that is in Mathura. तो मथुरा में कोई एक ऑयल रिफाइनरी थी जिससे वो रिलीज हो रहा था, और इट वाज कॉजिंग द एसिड रेन. और एसिड रेन की वजह से ताजमहल का कलर, now if you go to Taj Mahal, it is definitely, it has turned a bit pale in color because of the acid rain. So that company and oil refineries was shut down, and it is forced to close. So this was the recent case of Taj Mahal, all right, which was observed because of the acid rain. Children, then if we talk about the conservation of air pollution, not air but air pollution, so हम कैसे इसको कंजर्व कर सकते हैं? डेफिनेटली वन, बाय प्लांटिंग द ट्रीज. जितने ज़्यादा हम ट्री प्लांट करेंगे, उतने ज़्यादा कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड को एब्जॉर्ब करेगा कोई, और कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड अगर एब्जॉर्ब करेगा कोई तो अमाउंट उसका कम होगा, and we will get a fresh air. Okay, so planting the trees is first very important. Using the smokeless stoves जो हम use करते हैं for burning coal and kerosene, we should use a smokeless stoves. ठीक है, smokeless fuels such as LPG, that is liquefied petroleum gas, CNG, compressed natural gas, reduces the emission of carbon particles and harmful gases such as carbon monoxide. So we should just focus on all these things. Okay. So it has now become compulsory for the commercial vehicles in Delhi to use CNG. Right. It is now there in Banaras also. But yes, in Delhi it is compulsory. They are fined for not using the CNG. Now the vehicles are also unleaded petrol. They are using unleaded petrols to just reduce the pollution. Okay, they also use a catalytic converter, like a device. It is a type of a device which does not emit these pollutants in the atmosphere. It changes the harmful exhaust gases like carbon monoxide and nitrogen dioxide into harmless carbon dioxide, nitrogen and water. ओके, तो वो कैटालिटिक कन्वर्टर है कि जो अगर हार्मफुल गैसेस निकल रही है उसको कन्वर्ट कर देता है into less harmful gases. So now the vehicles are in the market having a catalytic converter and unleaded petrol. Now, in factories, powerhouses, and petroleum refineries, and gases given off the scrubbed down with water before being released from the chimneys. तो chimneys से जो gases भी release होती हैं poisonous, they are first treated and then they are released. Though ये सब सिर्फ लिखने की बातें, it does not happen. So, but ठीक है, maybe there must be some companies which is following such norms, but most of them are still not following it, but we should follow it, children. So these are the steps that has been taken to control the air pollution. Some factories uses electrostatic precipitators to remove particles of solids such as carbon from the waste gases before they are let out into the atmosphere. Electrostatic precipitator is again a type of a filter जो क्या करता है, दे जो भी जितने भी गंदगी होती है उसको अपने आप में स्टिक कर देता है and allows the fresh air or the fresh solid to pass through it. That is called electrostatic precipitator. Okay, so these are the ways to conserve air pollution. Children, One Mahotsav is celebrated every month in July for a week almost. So this you should know that One Mahotsav is celebrated where trees are being planted. It was started by K.M. Munshi in 1950, who was the Union Minister for Agriculture and Food at that time. Okay, so that was about this chapter. We have completed the explanation of this chapter. We are left with the exercise and oral question answer. So that was all about this chapter, children. Please do read this chapter. This chapter is very important, not for just studying purpose, but to be followed in like these things should be followed, and we should take the measured steps to control the pollution. Okay, so that's all for today. Hope you have understood it. If you come across any kind of doubt, please do ask me in the group. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you and Jai Hind, children.